Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Drive Marketing. And good afternoon, Corey and I have got the pleasure to visit again with Jake and Blake Bloomberg, Bloomberg Cattle in Illinois. Guys, how are you?
Good.
Doing good.
Good deal. Hey, upcoming sale here on SC, Bloomberg Cattle, pregnant recip and genetic opportunity sale. Jake, Blake, somebody, why in the world would a guy be selling something like this?
Well, I'll jump in. We just had a bred sale a couple weeks ago, and I didn't have as many bred heifers or cows on my sale as I usually do. So I put up a couple pregnant recips, and they were in pretty high demand. And I had quite a few calls after the sale if I had any more. So I thought the only fair way to do it was to give everybody the opportunity to maybe purchase a couple more before the end of the year, and just throw up a couple 5 pregnant recips of either new or proven matings, plus with some new/proven genetic opportunities on the embryo side there as well.
I gotcha. So most of these things are probably, I'm just guessing, knowing you two, it's stuff you really didn't want to calve out and get rid of and things like that.
Well, I don't know about Blake. You don't do much of that, but
no, exactly. I had to give you a hard time because when we sat down here, Corey, a minute ago, when we sat down here, I said, "Oh, hey, what's the skinny on these selling these things?" And Blake, well, he said, "Yeah, Jake, go ahead. I'd kind of like to hear this too. Why are we selling this stuff?"
Yeah, we have a partnership, and I guess this part of the partnership was never asked, but I'm good with it. I guess Jake was just feeling jolly around Christmas time and wanted to share some of our best genetics with people, which is great. We did have a lot of interest in them in the last sale, and Jake and I did talk and with Dad, and we just felt like it was a good opportunity to maybe share some more of these genetics. Obviously, we feel really strongly in these cows, and we've either raised them or tried to put them together, and so I guess Jake was just feeling pretty jolly this Christmas.
That's good. Ain't nothing like a jolly Bloomberg. What about that, Corey?
Is there a time when Jake isn't jolly?
Yes. Have you ever sorted cows with him?
Oh, speaking of sorting cows, let's talk about the inevitable question. Anytime that you purchase a pregnant recip, what kind of recip are we talking about here, guys? I mean, is this just run-of-the-mill deal, or talk
so
to
these
us about
cows,
the quality?
These are all black, either Western commercial Angus, or actually some of our own cows that would either be half-blood Cinnies or in that regard. All the cattle are bucket trained. We don't like them very fast, there's plenty of cattle in the world, and we don't like wild stuff running around. All the cows are good uddered. All 4 teats work. Don't ever have to trim feet. I've never had to trim feet on any of the recips or anything like that. They're quiet. Majority of the cows that I get are either from, we got a few there from 605 from Corey and the Shrags. Majority of mine usually come from my neighbor, Mike Houston. And he kind of lets me not so much hand pick, but I kind of walk through and pick out the recips, mostly on demeanor and still balance. I don't want to look at an ugly cow. And then the other part of our recips come from our embryologist, Dr. Pugh, Westwood in northern Iowa. And he actually did send me a bad cow one time, and I still don't let him live it down. So he's actually been sending us some really good high quality cows that are easy fleshing, good uddered, good milking, and good mothers.
Good. All right. And so these cows carrying some fresh stuff, some new stuff. I mean, there's got to be something you put in here that's had recent success, whether it's, at a recent sale or even in the show ring. Anything like that to look forward to?
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more as we describe the cattle, but there is quite a few success stories already from either full sib matings or the donor cows themselves being successful within the show ring or vice versa, prodigy sales or, embryo opportunities that we've already sold out of them and stuff in that regard. So if we could, honestly, if you could just pull up that lot 1, I'd like to get talked about there.
Come on.
Come on, Paige.
Oh, hello.
Actually, Blake, he has to describe this one.
So this is the Maury donor. It's a heifer that I bought from Tony Jeffs. And I'll be honest with you, Jake and Dad weren't real big fans of this heifer at their first outing at the Illinois State Fair. And I had to prove them wrong, just like I did on Steel Magnolia, Corey. And she won the Triple Crown, both junior and open show at Kansas City, Louisville, and Denver. And was 5th overall at the State Fair that year with Slicker and the Mole. And I don't know what to say about this cow other than that she does not owe us a thing. She is a generator. No matter what we have bred her to, we have had a merchandisable mating. We've bred her to a multitude of bulls, and she is just a pretty powerful donor cow. And I don't know why in the hell we're selling this relentless pregnancy out of her, because if you saw what we're going to have in our fall sale coming up here, and I don't know when Jake's got it scheduled, probably March would be my guess, but there are a pair of sisters out of this mating that are out of this world. So this thing is proven. It's foolproof. I mean, it's like a slot machine. She just gives and gives.
That donor's the one that the Dameron family showed. Is that right?
Yep. Jack Dameron showed her and very successfully for us. And she was a profit out of a tailgater. And like I said, any bull we've used her on, it's been a positive mating.
And she's got that extra center body that, boy, on that profit to put that extension and look in them, that ought to work really well.
Yeah, very impressive cow. Even not in like her show rig, just in her everyday clothes, just out and about. Some of the highlights of her calves we sold, her springborn calves we sold this fall. Sold one for $60, a couple in the $30s. Circle M bought some embryos out of this cow that they sold one for, what'd she bring, like
$23,500.
$23,500, and then a couple in that 15 range. So she has been very dominating generating material for us. That was just her first litter of calves we had. There's actually was a relentless that I sold last year. She just had one. It was a fall born that topped our fall born sale and sold for $27,500.
Wow.
Yeah, my fault. I misread that. Maury is a profit, and you're selling a relentless out of Maury is what's for sale. You bet.
If you look at this picture, the neat thing about it is you can't see it real well, but standing next to me is Gary Dameron. I think that's only the second time in his life I've seen him smile. He was pretty happy. So,
I like it. Hey, so talk to us real quick about this lot 2 deal. Pays to believe donor, is that right? Goes
Yeah. So I was up at I was traveling the country one fall, and I went to my good buddy Griman's. They told me they had this real good purebred semi. And actually, Cole was gone, so Kyle, his brother, was showing me around, and I don't really know what Kyle does, but he wasn't going to do a whole lot that Monday morning when I was out there. But this animal stuck out like a sore thumb for moderation or body, her flexibility for a purebred Simmental, and then coupled it with her added look and balance. Then I ended up selling her to Sarah Sullivan, and she campaigned her just at 2 shows, actually. Her first show ever was, she got a backdrop picture there in the junior show in Louisville. She was a reserve in the open show, and they took her to Oklahoma City last year, and she won the junior show in the reserve division in the open show. Cow that's, if you have me on Snapchat, she's one of my favorites. I like to go out when I'm checking them to throw up. for her extra softness, her structure, mobility, and still extremely balanced and way, way, way good looking. So there's a Sam mating on her that's due. I don't know when it's due. I have to look on the sale. January or February. That's when they're all due for this sale. But I'd buy with a lot of confidence. I think this cow will be very successful for our program. Hopefully it can be marketable and can strive to make either a foundation donor cow for yourself or maybe a high quality show heifer that you can make some money on in your initial investment in a quicker sense.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So speaking of that, we leave there and go to the lot 3. Is that right, Corey?
You bet. This lot 3, another sex female ledger, this time out of the 115F donor. 115S goes back to that Steel Magnolia donor, and she's out of Relentless.
Yeah, in the summer of 19, we had a whole litter of these Relentless Steel Magnolias. This heifer was actually successfully campaigned by Brumballs in Indiana. She was 5th overall at the Indiana State Fair, and I think, Jake, that was the only time maybe she was ever shown. And we got her back, and my investor and I bought half of her actually, and as an open. And this is one that donor picture right there just kind of tells a story about her in terms of just what we think she can do from a generating standpoint, just that extra feature and body and mass and volume, but still that good look that she has. And Jake and I bought a bull at Newt's with Boyer out of Ledger last spring that we really liked. We liked some of the ledgers that we saw, and we thought it'd be an interesting mating to try him on some of our stuff. So, again, this was a very popular. We sold a broker out of this cow in the last sale for $10,000, and I think the ledger mating has as much versatility as what that broker mating did. Just for what I've seen in some of these ledgers and how I think this will cross with this cow, I think is pretty exciting.
I actually saw that that summer. What would that have been, like 2019? That set of those heifer calves. How many was there out of Steel Magnolia that year?
I don't know. It seemed like every pen had like 5 or 6 of them, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was 15 head out of 3 different sires. And boy, I mean, you talk about quality and depth of quality, all out of different sires. Boy, that cow that cow and that cow family, and it comes out in these daughters. Boy, the blood's strong.
Yeah, real strong.
And Udell's bought a bull out of this cow from us last year as a calf that I think is going to see a lot of success. A broker son out of this cow that they have some semen. We'll have some semen available on, but I think they're pretty excited about him now as he's a coming 2-year-old. So I have a lot of confidence in this cow. I think she's one that is just really versatile in what she can do.
That's good.
Hey, we get into this lot 4 next. Another sex female, something about Mary out of the VO4A donor.
Yeah, this is actually a cow that I would have shown. It's been one of my last years. She was 5th overall herself at the Junior National. She raised a Relentless daughter that the Curtin family showed that was 5th overall at Junior Nationals the same year as all them Steel Magnolias that Corey just mentioned about. But this cow has actually been an extremely big-time generator for us, and you can tell by her donor picture right there. But that cow has done us extremely good, and we actually just put her on our bred sale here a couple weeks ago that we had. And as a mature cow that was hitting on the double digits in their age life, she still brings 12.5, and had some people call me the next day that were contending bidders on her that wanted to know what she was because they wanted a partner on her. And that probably says a lot, I think, for a cow of that age. That can still have some people still wanting to something out of her, wanting a piece of her. So they called me, and a couple of them guys were asking what I have for embryo wise in my tank, and I said, well, I have some pregnancies, and that's why I decided to put this one of the last pregnancies and embryo matings that we had out of that cow for our operation up for grabs for this sale here on Tuesday night.
Well, that is just an incredible looking cow. I mean, I know the picture's good, but I mean, obviously what she brought, she didn't stand around there and get double digit in her age just because you guys were needing something to graze grass. So I mean, there's obviously
Yeah, we got plenty of
there.
them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, incredible looking cow.
We move on here to this lot 5. You talk about incredible looking donor cow pictures. The Dee donor. This one's this pregnancies by Relentless again. Boy, just as cool looking of a baldy cow as you could make. And she goes back. Dee goes back to the diamond donor, the Jones cow that you showed, right, Jake?
That is correct. I went to Jones's and Weingartner's sale with my brother a couple, I don't know how many years ago. And this heifer was selling as an open. She brings in the upwards of
52,000.
And right. Thanks, Blake. And
well, you and I don't usually agree. So when we find something we agree on, we normally try to buy it. And this was one of those times where we both found this one.
Awesome.
But long story short, I didn't buy her for that much that day. But long story short, I ended up buying her as a cow. Then I had the first litter of Relentlesses out of her last year. I sold one for 15, and there's 5 or 6, and they average right around 8,500. One of Willie White. I sold a couple pregnancies last year that were Berwicks out of her. Willie Weiss grabbed a hold of one of them. And I think she sold for like 17,000 on his sale. So it's a cow that goes back to one of the most dominating purebred Simmentals in the breed. And you can see why, even for kind of some older genetics, she's still mainstream looking and balance and structure and feet and legs and other quality. Dang sure what this Dee cow stamps them like.
You bet. Then we're going to wrap up here with a Snapchat favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I seen her on Jake's Snapchat there a couple weeks ago. Lot 10 is going to be a broker out of the new Big Red donor. Big Red is a broker, or yeah, she is she's actually a Quantum Leap Mary. Goes back to Steel Magnolia on the bottom side.
Yeah, I actually bought this cow from Brent Toll. He had gotten a group of heifers out of Sullivan's feedlot. He kind of beat us to the punch. And I went down and looked at this heifer doing Louisville one year, and I knew I needed her. We needed her for the operation, just the mass and the power and the substance that she had. And that was one of the first sets of calves out of Proud Mary. And this cow has really done a good job for us. Just Jake can probably rattle the numbers better than me, but I think there was a trio of Relentlesses that he sold this fall. It did well, but I think this broker mating on her, could be out of this world just in terms of the matching up of broker with our Steel Magnolia and Proud Mary cow family. This is not an extra high quality picture, but it's in her working clothes. And Jake is a magician on Snapchat, and I tell him that all the time.
What's wrong with that picture?
I can't make him look. Well, she looks great, Jake. Good job. But
she's not. This is what cattle look like, Blake. They don't clipped, don't have a halter on them.
If anybody can pull it off, you can, Jake. Mr. Snapchat.
You should see them in the real world every now and again.
I do.
Here we go. Hey, Snapchat or backdrop doesn't change the fact that this red female is legit. Can we agree on that?
Bones. Big bones, big body, big old ass.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of Blake.
You can't say things like that on this, Jake. Come on.
It's
Oh,
family
hey.
friendly.
Yeah, you bet. So, hey, what about the lot 10? I mean, let's talk about that for just a second, though. I mean, on this female, in terms of this everyday picture we run, there's a lot of confidence in this mating there, though, isn't there?
Yeah, very much so. Like last year, we flushed that cow one time. It was my grandparents' cow. They wanted to flush her. My grandpa wanted to flush her to his old bull that was 25 years old. I said, maybe let's do a little new game stuff. And
C339U probably.
Oh yeah,
C339U, yeah, Corey. And I flushed her relentless. We had 3 heifers. They averaged 12.5. We flushed her to broker again, and then I actually kept her open and going to breed her for a fall. That way I can flush her and put those embryos in fresh for some springborns the following year. That's just kind of the quality of this cow. And I wanted to give her a chance before I ever give her a chance to make something of herself before I ever put anything up on her, up for grabs. And the brokers, I think, would be a very, very, very big success. I think color-wise, they can be all of our relentlesses are solid black, of course, but the brokers, I think you could get some red baldies, some black baldies, solid red, solid blacks, pretty much any color.
Right. Good. All right. So, in terms of these pregnant recips, those are all right there at the house. So if a guy decides that he wants one, we just truck them right out of there. Or are you guys interested in calving any of these things?
Feel free to give us a call. Our numbers are posted on the sales site.
Okay.
Don't call me on the cabin. You need to call Jake on that. That's Jake and Dad's department. I'm just an upper management, so don't be calling me with tough questions like that.
Tough questions. I like it.
Now, like some of them cows, there's one of them that's due January 7th. There's 2 or 3 of them that are due. They're January 15th, and then a couple other ones are due like February 10th. So please call ahead of time about, and if we'll try to calve them out and, try to help you out as much as you can if that's what's needed.
Right.
Preferably, like when I buy something, though, I go pick it up. I want it to be my fault if something happens rather than somebody else's.
Absolutely.
But I realize that, if you live a long ways away, but like our last sale that we had, we sold cattle to Mississippi, California, surrounding states, southern Texas, pretty much everywhere. And I think those 21 or 2 head that we sold in that sale, they were all delivered within 7 days. So
that's good. Well, and the other thing is, and in the day of online sales and insurance and things like that, there's all kinds of ways for somebody, everybody can kind of prevent something. But I do agree with you, the coming and picking them up deal, that's handy on everybody's part right there. So no, that's good. So we got the Bloomberg Cattle Company pregnant recip and genetic opportunity sale to be held on SC Online Sales December the 28th is closing day there. So Jake, Blake, as always, incredible set of pregnancies. I'd say the anticipation would be high for new customers as well as you guys alike. So for anything else to add, now be the time to do it. So
nope. Thanks for having us. See you guys soon in Oklahoma City.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, guys. You bet.